Hello, my friends. Jacob is here one more time, and so are all of you, and I'm so happy that you are, because this is just getting better and better and better. You got your popcorn? Do you have your popcorn? You're going to eat a little popcorn for this show, because this is the one you want to eat it with. Holy macaroni! Every time I think that I come on here and I talk about goofy things like the Wizard of Oz and this and that and the other thing, and I think I'm just being a goofball, I'm just being a little silly, just being a meatball that I am. And then it just more and more and more of it happens. It's totally sus, man. That's right. Elon just put out a little tweet about, lawyer of the Clintons, Michael Sussman, on the show. If you're new to the channel, thank you for coming. Welcome. Will you subscribe? Will you hit that like button, comment, and share, and help the channel to grow? It's helpful when you do it, and I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you for doing that. Thank you so much, all you that do that in the live chat especially. Thank you, because I'm always there. Please
hit the like. Please, let's get more people here, please.
I'm always working so hard to try to get more people to come and see this show, because it's the greatest show on earth. And now's the greatest moment to be alive, especially if you're a person who has faith. So that's right, I had a weird dream long time ago about a laptop. Talked about it in the show, shared it in videos, weird stuff, right? In that dream, there was a name, Sussman, Lily Sussman, who owned this laptop. Sussman, that over the last couple of years has become pretty prominent. So much so that I've shared tweets where in 2015 I'm talking about Sussman and the bomb that is, this whole nonsense with the Ruskies and the Trumpster administration, all of that stuff being put on trial right now. It's totally sus, man. Been saying it a long time. And now Elon Musk is saying it. I just think, hey, like Danielle said to me, she goes, he has to be watching you. I said, I don't know if the guy's watching me. I guess you do enough, shows. I do enough shows about Elon, and I talk about him because he's a fascinating man. Tony Stark of our age, all of that interesting stuff, him and Grimes, and all of that totally sus stuff that's connected to him. He seems to be the hero, right? Hero, champion of free speech, and, the guy that's really coming against the libs, whoever the libs are. All of this, I just feel like it's a big drama, and I feel like it's being played out. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. I think it's a bunch of witchcraft. Right. I think that it's all like psychological operations are taking place. They're casting spells everywhere you go. And this show, that's right, the one that you're here, I'm going to tie some stuff together that is just going to just blow your mind. I know I say it a lot, but this, every time I come to this show to talk to you, I think that's it. I don't know, how am I going to top this one? And then boom, I say a prayer at the gym, and then more stuff floods my way. Holy macaroni. That's right, witchcraft, it's like really a thing. You spell things out. Okay, so if there's this law and faith creates things, is it possible that maybe there are people that are behind the scenes that are getting everybody to think a certain way so the world goes a certain way, and these people are like wizards? Like the Wizard of Oz that I started talking about.
just happening. The future is built by us, by a powerful community as you here in this room. We have the means to improve the states of the world. But two conditions are necessary. The first one is that we act all as stakeholders of larger communities, that we serve not our only self-interests, but we serve the community. That's what we call stakeholder responsibility.
Donald Trump being the Wizard of Oz, is he the Wizard of Us? I did a whole show about this a while ago. Long before all the Wizard of Oz stuff comes out, this show. And why? Because it's all so sus. You know? It's all so sus. You know, so listen, I'm going to try to break this down. One after this, we're going to talk about the Kardashians. We're going to talk about Kanye West. We're going to talk about so many things. And it's all going to tie together. And it's almost going to be like a wake-up call. Like the veil is being taken away and we're realizing what is being played out. Like literally played out. So much so that Trump endorses Dr. Oz. Who, by the way, looks like a sorcerer. Right? You look at this guy, you can see him with like a hood looking all spooky. I do a couple of programs about him, of course. Now there's some things you should probably watch. Maybe at the end of the show I'll marry this about him being the Wizard of Us and all that. About MAGA. You know, I told people on the show, you know, you look up what MAGA means in the hierarchy. It's the fifth degree. It's the fifth degree. No degree is a registered member of the Church of Satan. That's right. Active members, the first. Witch or warlock's the second degree, priest is the third degree, magistrar is the fourth degree, and MAGA or magus is the fifth degree. So don't you find it strange that today everybody's talking about we're going to unleash the ultra dark MAGA? Think about that for a second. As this is filtering out, right? Think about that. Listen, once again, could just be a weird coincidence. I don't know. What do I know, right? Make America great again. Maybe that wasn't really the thing. Wearing a hat with MAGA, that's my rank. You know? I mean, if it was his rank, if he's a great wizard, the wizard who is, holds the keys to the bottomless pit, there's that memorial, that 9/11 memorial. I don't know if you remember Trump, he was in a commercial with the sheep, right? I know this because I used to sell mattresses. That's what I did when I left Christian TV. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave it all. I'm going to sell mattresses. I'm going to help people get a better night's sleep. And I just knew that one day the Lord would that we would have this. So I left television. I left working for everybody else. And I helped people find a better night's sleep, spiritually speaking, support, rest, comfort. And then this was being built all along the way, knowing one day that I would leave. And then thank God, because of all of the uncomfort that the nest became, because that's what'll happen. If you're not meant to stay somewhere and God wants to advance you, move you out, things will start to happen. People will be mean to you. Things will get uncomfortable. It happens. But it's not a bad thing. Sometimes God needs to get you out, right? So what does he do? It starts to get a little uncomfortable until you do leave. And now here we are. Here we are. The channel's so much more rich and so much more involved than it was before. So grateful for all of you that are helping to grow this, because we know that there's more. How could there not be? All of this stuff coming together.
Someone told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president.
He's the magician who wakes us up. What do you think about that?
So they're unleashing the dark MAGA, right? The dark MAGA. The MAGA king, the great MAGA king. Remember Biden coined that term? Ultra MAGA, MAGA king. And then, of course, we came out with the Lord of the Rings where Donald Trump is, Which is ironic because on the show for a long time we were talking about Sauron, the Eye of Sauron. We're talking about the Lord of the Rings and how Elon Musk and Donald Trump are like intrinsically linked. They each boost each other up, it seems, in some strange way. Well, we do know that they're very smart men. And we do know that, Donald Trump's uncle, John Trump, I talked about this on my last live stream, ended up with all of Tesla's notes. So, maybe there's a connection. I don't know. So yesterday I did a YouTube short about Trump naming the victims at the NRA, where he gave his speech. And in between each name, there was a loud funeral gong, a funeral bell. And it struck me as odd because it reminded me a lot of The Undertaker, who I used to write for. I did a show about Donald Trump about 4 months ago where I talked about how he was entering his rallies to The Undertaker's theme, Rest in Peace. The funeral bells sounding, the gong. This was very odd to me. So when I saw Trump naming these children, which was heartbreaking, and it was nice to see someone in leadership doing this, honoring these poor children, it just was very strange. I thought it was tone deaf, but in a minute it's kind of hard to get that across. It was just strange to me. I couldn't understand why they would choose this loud, just very depressing gong in between. Maybe this is a thing, but it is quite coincidental when he did enter with that gong, and then here he is 3 months later doing the same. It's very strange.
Rogelio Torres Tess Marie Mata.
But is it possible? Could the world be taken over by witchcraft? Somebody on Twitter, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. I can picture your face, though. Said something very cool. Is this like the Wizard of Oz? We got the Wizard of Oz, we got the monkeys, the flying monkeys, and we got the witches. Because, of course, I shared pictures of Kourtney Kardashian dressing up with the in all black, looking like she was going to some kind of, some dark wedding. Marrying somebody said Lord Voldemort, which is Travis Barker. He's like because he's a rock star, And they didn't look good. They didn't look good, I gotta tell you, for all that money. But she was wearing this outfit that just looked very, I'm gonna get into it because on the outfit, if you take a look, you'll see the Queen of Heaven. You'll see it and think, oh, it's Mary, and that this is some kind of a religious thing. Kim Kardashian wore almost the identical dress a while ago. Queen of Heaven's a thing, right? Before we get into the Queen of Heaven, though, let me finish up with Donald Trump, the wizard. So you got the wizard, you got Dr. Oz, you got the monkeys, and maybe you got the witches. Is it possible that we're all under some big spell? So much so that they have to put it out in front of us. You know, the Wizard of Oz, this is a weird thing. I didn't make the connection. My daughter Shiloh, she doesn't like Elton John. She's not a big fan of Elton John. She doesn't know nothing about it. But her friends, they got tickets and it was already paid for, and somebody backed out and they're like, we really wanted you to go, but she said I didn't want to go to begin with. And I guess now they have the tickets, so she's going to go, and she tells me she's going to see Elton John. I don't make the connection. Turns out Elton John, this is like his farewell tour, the Yellow Brick Road farewell tour. Isn't that something, huh? Quinky dinky doo. See, on the channel, what I find interesting is there'll be these discoveries, like the discovery of the Yellow Brick Road under the Pacific Ocean. There'll be these interesting lawsuits, like the lawsuit about Judy Garland's dress. There'll be these auctions about the violin that was played the Yellow Brick Road and, you know, somewhere over the rainbow, going up for auction for $20 million. And Dr. Alex tweeting me on Twitter, reminding me Judy Garland turns 100 on June 10th. 100 years old. And so this is interesting because what they're going to do is they're going to release The Wizard of Oz. And when are they going to release The Wizard of Oz? On June 6, 2022. Dr. Alex wanted to point out that that's 666. I think it's quite interesting. So they're unleashing the dark MAGA, right? The dark MAGA, the MAGA king, the great MAGA king. Remember Biden coined that term? Ultra MAGA, MAGA king. And then, of course, we came out with the Lord of the Rings where Donald Trump is, you know. Seems like witchcraft is everywhere. Like I said a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, I said, witchcraft is coming. It's going to be very, very evident. It's like they're taking over. I had this weird dream where there were these witches. They showed up at my house like to do battle or something. And in the dream, I understand now what these black gooey vines were, but I said I considered them to be thorns back then. I said, oh, they're like thorns, because I understood that it was wickedness. But I remember them taking over the woods, and it was very, very strange. And these vines, these black gooey like vines that I called thorns, were trying to get up to my house, but I cut that off before it happened. Take a look. In the dream, they got out of their minivan, right? And the leader looked all spooky. And I met them in the backyard. And I came out, and I got to tell you something. I wanted to express my dominance in this dream. I wasn't scared of these witches, right? Now listen, there are probably a lot of you that are watching right now. Maybe the head of the largest coven in the United States. Supposedly, I got this guy's attention. It was a little weird when I got that comment, as if I got their attention. Okay, I got to get scared now, right? I don't have to get scared. I'm not worried about any kind of hex, right? Like they hexed Kavanaugh. Remember that big public hexing right before Kavanaugh came in? Remember all the witches getting together? They were trying to do the spooky spell on Trump. Witchcraft is everywhere, right? So I have this dream. I go out to the backyard and I approach one of them and I grab this dude's hand and I pull him in tight and I squeezed his hand very tight with my right hand. And immediately he was pulled back, but I didn't want to hurt him. I wasn't there to hurt anybody, but I wanted to understand why they were showing up. And the guy pointed to the woods. There are these big woods outside of my house, supposedly. I guess I have them in my backyard, but obviously it wasn't really my yard. Dreams are a little bit different. But there were thorns everywhere, and these thorns, these vines of thorns, were like covering it. And I noticed that one of them was coming up the rail of my house, but it had been cut and stopped, right? So it didn't make my house, which is a good thing. But of course, I wake up this morning and I think, oh my goodness, what are you trying to tell me, Lord? What are you trying to tell me? So witchcraft got my attention. So I immediately went and I started searching witchcraft. And my goodness, did I find so much information. Witches and hexes and all of this has been so tied to Donald Trump and as you just saw, Kavanaugh and all of this, the hexing. Remember, they hexed the moon, they hexed this, they hexed that. It's like it's in mainstream news. So much about the witches. So much about the Wizard of Oz. Very strange. Oz. What, why are we endorsing this guy? Why is Trump crazy? Is it just because his name is Oz? And we have to make it very clear? We got to tell the story, so we're going to make it very evident? Or is it just God will do things to kind of get our attention, to show us hey, look, this was discovered, and now look what's happening. The Wizard of Oz. And what happens? The curtain's pulled back. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. The truth is revealed. Remember, Dorothy was just trying to get home in the grand scheme of things. So are we. We're just trying to get to the truth, right? And what happens along the way? We get all intoxicated with the fields and all that nonsense. We got fear, we got stupidity, cowardly lion, right? I actually played the Scarecrow. That was my first big break.
I could while away the hours, conversing with the flowers if I only had a brain.
I tweeted out the dark side of the moon, how it matches up completely perfectly with the Wizard of Oz. If you play it from the beginning when the lion roars, it matches up.
If I only had a brain.
Can't play it here because of copyright reasons, but you could probably find something on YouTube. Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz. Trump is the Wizard of Oz. Now here's weird, right? So Oz is, he's getting quoted right now. And you're going to say, well, maybe, no, Oz can't be into the witchcraft stuff. And I'm not saying he is, right? But I'm saying he uses weird words like, we got to help Pennsylvanians get their mojo back. Yeah, so he's against legalizing marijuana. I'm going to say very clearly that I am very pro medical marijuana because I know that it helps. I know that it helps. It helps so many people. I've done a ton of research, especially with the diseases that I've had. But I'm not going to make a statement on whether everybody should be able to just get high whenever. You know what I mean? I think that there's a time and a place for everything. But Dr. Oz is like, no, I'm sorry. He says, I don't want young people to think they have to smoke a joint to get out of their house in the morning. As if everybody who uses marijuana thinks that way, right? There are plenty of people that live great, normal, amazing. Look at Joe Rogan, right? The most popular podcaster. Him and Elon Musk, they were smoking the dupes. These aren't people that have a problem getting out of the house in the morning. But anyway, he says, we need to get Pennsylvanians back to work. You got to give them their mojo. Isn't that interesting? Dr. Oz, Trump's pick, Dr. Oz, the doctor, right, who pushes the wackadoo and other things. He uses the word mojo. Well, wouldn't you know? Guess what mojo means? If you look it up, it's a magic charm, a spell. We gotta give them the spell. That's what he says. We gotta give them the magic charm. We gotta give them their mojo. And I don't want marijuana to be a hindrance to that spell, that witchcraft, that magic power, which is what mojo means. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right? Wait a minute, Jacob. How can you say that there's witchcraft everywhere, right? Well, I don't know. I'm not really saying it. But I will say that Kraft mayonnaise is certainly promoting it. Oh, wow. I stumbled across on Twitter. By the way, follow me on Twitter. Will you follow me on Twitter? Will you please follow me on Twitter? The links are in the description. Jacob Israel 71. You follow me on Facebook too. All the links are in the description to everything. Hook up with me on Telegram. It's a one-sided conversation. It's really just a way to get notified. So I don't know if you're on Telegram or not, but everything's in the description. Click on the link and please let's connect. But on Twitter, I put out a little funny tweet. This tweet. What's Kraft mayo got to do with all sorts of weird runes and witchcraft and all sorts of weird stuff? I said it should be called Witchcraft mayonnaise. Get it? Witchcraft mayonnaise. Maybe that's why it's called Kraft. You ever wonder? I'm just saying. So their advertisement, get your mayo spread read, right? By me, a non-certified mayo reader. Choose your spreading style and maybe, just maybe, you'll escape this retrograde season unscathed. So if you get your mayo, you get your mayo reading, right? You go to the mayo guru, the mayo witch, or the mayo, you get your psychic reading. Maybe you will escape this retrograde season unscathed. Hashtag Kraft mayo readings. It's just mayonnaise. What the hell is going on? So now this is interesting. All of this stuff. Let's just kind of tie some stuff together here. On the program, I talk a lot about the Bible and I share stories from the Bible. And one of the characters from the Bible, a couple of characters from the Bible, I've compared the Trumpster to. Nebuchadnezzar being one of them. In the last couple of shows, we've learned this, and we found that it was very interesting. Remember, Nebuchadnezzar was an interesting guy. He was the guy. Remember when I did the show about Nebuchadnezzar with the liver, right? Because of the outbreak. I was talking. Remember, I had that terrible dream where Ethan had that rash, where he was covered in all these marks all over his body, and I was so scared. And then I said, "Oh, well, did another dream come true?" And now we're talking about there's that big outbreak with the hepatitis with the children, it was terrible. But now there's the other one too. So I don't know. Some people are like, "Hey, maybe the dream was about that." Maybe that's what people think. I don't know. But I do know that somebody sent me a picture, and I wish I remembered you. These things come to me when I'm doing this, and I'm not planning on talking about it. But they sent me a picture of Nicki Minaj at the Met Gala, and she was covered in all of these, and it looked like she had the rash. You know, this. Everybody's so scared about the pox of right? Everybody's scared about that. I did a show a while ago. Remember when there was a monkey that escaped? There was a crash, and it was the 100th monkey. I did a whole show about that. This show. And now here are the monkeys too, right? So it's all there. The Wizard of Oz, just like that tweet said. It's all there. You got the monkeys, you got the wizard, you got Oz, and you got the witches. The witches who are getting dressed up. I mean, they have so much money, and this is the way they look, and they're walking around in public. It's like, if I was one of their kids, I'd be like, Ma, what are you doing? What is this outfit you wear? Why you look so dark? What's with the black veil? Some people had a little problem on Twitter, like, wait a minute, are you besmirching Mary, the Queen of Heaven? The Queen of Heaven, just so you know, God's not cool with the Queen of Heaven. It's like it's a false god. And there have been a lot of them. They have a lot of different names. There was Mary, right? That's Mary. That's why you watch Beyonce, remember when she was pregnant, she was like the Queen of Heaven. Nicki Minaj, Queen of Heaven. Everybody dressed like the Queen of Heaven with all the crowns and all this stuff. It's all the worship. You got Ishtar, that's where we get Easter from, Queen of Heaven. Sumerian mythology and others, Inanna, Queen of Heaven. Lately, we've been talking a lot about the twins, Apollo and Artemis, Queen of Heaven, Artemis. Same thing, same story. Now what? I had a little theory. You know how, like in some countries, they worship the dictators like they're God? They do. They have the erector studies, like you have to worship and pray to the. What if the Queen of Heaven is really some extraterrestrial being, right? There's some alien that lives much longer than us, maybe from Nibiru, who wants to be worshipped as God, and people are gonna believe that this is God and this is a whole cult thing, or it's some kind of a demon, or it's some kind of a fallen angel. I don't know, but I do know that they're all into this stuff. And that doesn't seem like God to me. Where it gets weird is that you have the connection. You hear the word Kardashians and you think, oh yeah, they do blood facials and weird stuff, right? They have a lot of interesting rituals that they take part in, and they dress very interesting. Some people say that they're all witches. That's like a thing online. Even exes of theirs, I think, have said things like that, to that effect. But then you got Kanye, who's connected to, right, Kim Kardashian, who also is connected to and wears the MAGA hat. And he's like the face of Christianity. All the mainstream YouTubers out there, all like, oh, Kanye, oh, he's coming to the Lord. That's Barabbas. Remember when when Pilate had the opportunity to offer somebody to be killed? Like, who do the people want? Do you want Christ, the Son of God, or do you want You know, you want Jesus, the Son of God, Yahshua, the Son of God, or Yahshua Barabbas, the revolutionary who's gonna take an M16 or well, I don't know what it was, an automatic weapon to a rally. Do you want Barabbas, or do you want Christ, who teaches you must love, you must forgive, you must have peace? And what do the people want? They want Barabbas, right? They want Barabbas. Everybody's got it backwards. So really, the people that Kanye may be preaching about and all that, maybe it's not the God of Jacob. I'm just saying, you know, maybe it's not. Maybe you judge a tree by its fruit. That's what you do. Now here's weird, right? So he wears the MAGA hat. He supports the Trumpster. It's a whole thing. It's almost like it's all being played out. So much so that, you know, like if there was witches and warlocks and wizards and like people that are into the occult, you know that one artist who, Marina is her name, and her last name is, well, I can't say it, but you know this woman. You know, she said that there were dreamers, and they saw that Donald Trump was like a great wizard, that he was going to usher in a new age. She said that about him, and the crowd was like, boo, right? Boo. Suckers. Maybe we're all suckers, right? I don't know. Maybe Trump's a great guy. Maybe he's a man of God. I don't know. I can't tell you that. I do know that there's a lot of weird coincidence surrounding him.
Actually, he's the magician who wakes us up. What do you think about that?
I've compared Donald Trump to Nebuchadnezzar and also Simon Magus. Magus. Simon Magus was like a wizard who looked like he was like a Christian guy. He wanted to buy the anointing. He wanted to purchase the anointing of God, but he wasn't of God. There was a problem with that. So I've compared, you know, over the years I've talked about this. It's interesting. The Wizard of Oz. You gotta watch that show. But Nebuchadnezzar being the big thing. You know, there was a golden statue of him. He fits the bill, doesn't he? He does fit the bill. Now here's weird. Guess whose first opera was called Nebuchadnezzar? Kanye West. You think that's weird? You think that it's weird that all these, you know, women Kardashians all of a sudden are getting married with the picture of Mary, Queen of Heaven, Ishtar, Inanna, Artemis, or whoever else? Whore of Babylon is still at it. That's the thing, you know. That's the thing. But there's going to be a time when there's going to be a switch, because according to the Book of Revelation, what happens is, you know, the dragon turns on the whore of Babylon. Well, this is going to be interesting because I think we're going to see this. But Kanye's very first ever opera was Nebuchadnezzar. Then he did another one. You want to know what it was about? Take a wild guess. What are we talking about? That's right, the Queen of Heaven, Mary. I said a while back that Kanye was probably like the guy. He'd be the guy. He has a lot of influence. Let's just read about this dress. This dress that the Kardashians were wearing. A Virgin Mary emblem adorned both Kourtney Kardashian's wedding weekend, Black Minnie, and similar sister Kim Kardashian in 2017. Both wore this. It was made by Dolce & Gabbana. Ahead of the wedding with Travis Barker, they featured a bodice and a snap-up slit in front. Everybody's so focused on how people dress. I just thought they looked freaky. It's like once the veil is taken back and you start to see these things, like if you're drinking that Monster Energy drink and you realize it's, the number 666 in Hebrew, you start to say, maybe I'm not going to drink that drink anymore. This whole world is turned over to wickedness and idolatry and witchcraft. It's like the prophets of Baal are everywhere, and Elijah is standing up. Now Elisha is standing up. And what do? They call Ubaldi, right? We did the show just a little while ago. And I told everybody on the show that you got the two bears. And I was kind of like saying, well, maybe the two bears are like Biden and Trump. Right? You got the one and then you got the other. Ironic that looks like everybody's calling Biden the bear. Got the Biden bear market. Zero Hedge just put out the Biden bear. It's two bears that brought punishment and correction. And that's the punishment and correction is upon us because we've been so messed up. But you know who the original shaver of hair is? The man who's supposed to bring that judgment of baldness? Donald Trump. Now you know that I used to be the head writer for World Wrestling. That's right. 99 to 2001, I was the top guy. The ratings went through the roof. We were getting beat by WCW. I came in within a year. Vince McMahon bought WCW. Their ratings went through the roof. They were never higher. Guess what happened when I left? Within like a short period of time, they lost half of their audience, and it's now been almost, I don't know how many years. It's got almost 21 years, right? Because my son was born, Noah was born, and that's when I kind of left. I knew that I had to do more with my life. And they didn't want me there anywhere. I used to read the Bible on the plane. That would always freak him out, right? Because he's kind of like a spooky dude. I like the whole WWE, and I like watching wrestling and all that stuff. But there's something off. There's something off about that place. I was there for a couple of years. I know. I was like the top guy for a couple of years. Which is interesting, how God placed me there. Put me on his plane, put me in his home, put me next to the guy the whole time. The guy who had his head shaved by Donald Trump. WrestleMania 23 in 2007. That's interesting. Apollo, right? He loves Apollo, got Apollo all over the place. Apollyon, Revelation 9/11. 9/11, Donald Trump with the sheep. We're at the bottomless pit, and then you got the September, the memorial. The bottomless pit's very strange. How Trump is the man, Trump is the guy, Trump's always connected. He's always somehow there. I can't wait to see what happens next. But I talk about the bears, and of course, guess what? I brought up the fact that, did Trump be the bear, and Trump's the bear, and how Newt Gingrich used to call him the bear from The Revenant. Well, guess what's in the news now? Utah hunting guide faces felony for baiting bear. Remember I talked on the show a little while ago about the bear that Donald Trump went and hunted and killed? And it was a big uproar. Well, looks like the guy who was guiding him was baiting the bear, setting the bear up. It wasn't even a fair fight. Ooh, the plot thickens. So, is this witchcraft? Is he a great grand wizard and a warlock? I don't know. Maybe he's a good guy, right? Maybe he won't be in power. Maybe he will. I don't know. But I do find it all so strange totally sus man, and then Elon saying sus man. Wizard of Oz and the Wizard of Oz. It's just weird. Like, why is Oz saying mojo, which is about a spell? What's really happening today, people? Is anybody really paying attention? I am. I hope you are. Pray for the truth. Ask for the truth. Say, Lord, teach me the truth no matter what the cost. The day is at hand when we really, you know, if you've been here long enough, playtime's over, right? God is real. It's time to do the right thing. Put our trust there. Put our trust in the Lord. Everything's going to work out. I promise. Just enjoy the show in the meantime. And will you do me a favor? Will you share the channel around? Will you hit the like? Will you please hit the like? Please, and leave a comment. Will you take the link, hit share, copy the link, put it on your social media, tell people you gotta watch this show. This witchcraft is everywhere. Craft mayonnaise is casting spells. You can tell everybody. It'll be fun. Funny. Get people to think. Kanye West, Nebuchadnezzar, Mary, Queen of Heaven, same thing. Second musical, Mary, Queen of Heaven. Come on, people. I love coming to you all today, and I hope that you enjoyed the show too. I will see you soon. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. Like the light that led men from the East to a child in a manger, it could well be a sign of good things to come. Thomas James shall be his name. The world will change because of him. In the small town of Bethel, in a time not unlike our own, a child with a great purpose is born. Years later, alienated by his peers and abused, Thomas suffers a devastating loss. When it appears he has nothing left to live for in the world, this is when his true calling begins. While trying to escape the sinister powers that be, a terrifying vision haunts him. Miraculous events seem to follow the peculiar young man as he struggles to come to terms with what he was born to do. The stage is set. The time is at hand. The truth will rise and a revolution will begin. The startling revelation of who Thomas James is, truly, will change the lives of those around him and set off a chain of events long ago foretold. There is more to this novel than one might think. Inside these pages hides a treasure just waiting to be discovered. So if you've ever wondered if there's more to life, or why it is we suffer, then this story will not only captivate you, it may just open your eyes to a truth that could set you free. Find out what is in us all that makes us heed the calling. Click it.